Welcome, everyone, to the Moving to Florida show. I am your host, Mo, and today I have with me my co-host, Yahya Chotani, and our other co-host, Judson, is still making the move, I guess. He's still moving boxes from one house to another house, so he's been quite busy here. So today, I guess we're going to be diving into the state of the market. I know you were recapping something here recently before we got on the air. So what were you recapping?
Yeah, man. So thank you for bringing that up. And yeah, I think Jetson is busy applying the principles of real estate as we talk about them here.
The hard part is the move.
The move.
The hard part is not getting the financing or finding the home. The hard part is the move, actually.
I know. It's we do the fun stuff. We talk about it.
We don't carry boxes.
We don't carry boxes, but Jetson is actually doing the physical work. I know. More power to the guy, man. But it's absolutely fantastic, when we're all involved in it, because it just makes it more fun. I was just sharing that, man, that, even with the state of economy we're in, our expected inventory for existing homes is still extremely low. And even though supply went up slightly in the past couple of months, it's still incredibly low because about 60% of mortgages in the country right now are less than 4% interest rate, which is insane.
Right.
And I think, this is what's causing a lot of homeowners to not sell their homes. But there is something in the background that's happening which surprises people. But, with our recent debt ceiling that was renegotiated by the government, it gives us a little insight. And on my side, I'm already seeing people doing a lot of refis. I've done about 3 of those in the last 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And people are asking me this question, like, why would somebody give up 4% for 7% or 8% rate? Well, it's not that they want to. But if you really, truly think about it, a lot of people that have 4% interest rates, and let's say they don't have the same income level.
Right.
The spending level is different. And due to the recent trend in consumer retail spending, everybody's been spending a lot of money. And sometimes you don't make as much because of inflation, right? So what do? Put that on your credit card. Now, this credit card is having a interest rate of, let's say, 14, 18, 22%. And another trend I'm seeing with people now, I was telling you about, is that people are taking out personal loans from companies like Prosper, Best Egg, and it's cool. It's great if you need help and you can get this, but they also offer these loans at a much higher price point. So if I take your 4% rate, 18% credit card, and I take this 18 or 20% personal unsecured loan rate, I blend them together, you're not at a 4% rate in reality. You're at a 5, 6, or 7, or 8% rate anyway. Right. But the problem here is the only thing that's a good value for your money is an asset, real estate, that goes up in value so your debt reduces. But the unsecured loan and your credit card debt, you're just paying interest because you're going to make minimum payments, obviously. You're not going to pay the whole balance, right? And what this does is it creates a avalanche, or I would say snowball effect, of constantly increasing balance, which over time is going to max out your card. And if you don't make these payments, it's going to show late payments. So it's going to now impact your credit. Plus, this unsecured loan is also not going to pay towards your principal. So now you're making all these payments, but you're paying interest to somebody else, and your home is, just at a 4% rate. So when people refi this, yeah, sure, they give up that 4%, but now they actually start building more wealth because you're transferring the money from paying only interest to interest and principal.
Right.
And to give you an example, I had someone who bought a home in 2016, and they bought this home for $150,000 at a 4.5% rate. Today, this home is worth $402,000. And, they had some debt, so they had to take out a little bit of cash. So they increased their loan amount from 151 to 229. And their rate went from 4.5 to 6.9%. And because they did a refi, they didn't have to pay any closing costs up front. We just put that in the back of the loan. And they were able to get about $40,000 in cash to repair their home, fix it up, do whatever they need to, pay off some bills. And the mortgage payment, including all the debts, was about $1,950.
Okay.
But with the refi, it dropped to $1,857. Okay. So they dropped their overall payment. And if they take this extra money that they potentially saved and add it towards their principal every month. Now they're going to lower their 30-year mortgage by another 4 or 5 years. So it's interesting how everybody's individual situation works out. But yeah, I think a lot of these 4% rates, people are not selling because they want to hold on to them. But something is going to crack because we can't go like this with the debts we have.
Right. Yep. All right. Sounds good. And I do have a little bit of update for June because we just got the data for June in. Inventory is still low, very, very low. Like Yahya mentioned earlier, inventory is still very, very low. We have 5,450 homes on the market today. Not today, as of June. I know this is like a month old, but we get it a month later, so it's not my fault. So as of June versus June of last year, we are down 18% with sales. We had 3,124 sales in the month of June this year versus last year. So we're down 18% in single families, down 21% in condos, down 11% in townhouses. As far as median price has gone down just 1%. So it's still at 385. Single families down 1%. Condos are up 1%. Townhouses are up 1%. New listings are also down 31%. So they're down 31% from last year. And we thought inventory was low last year. It's a lot lower this year. So, and pending sales are down as well, only 6%. So, even though these numbers look like they're trending down, there's still not enough inventory out there. So not enough people are putting homes up for sale in Florida.
And you brought up a really good point, man. I think this is a great point, and I love when things flow into place. Yeah. You said condos, and with the recent uptick in pricing and of course rates, I think a lot of people are leaning more towards purchasing condos and townhomes. Yep. And I think a lot of people don't realize that when you are trying to finance a condo, it is not the same as financing a single family home. There are more things involved.
There are a lot more things involved in a condo versus a townhouse or a single family.
Exactly. And I think here is where a person like you, who is a real estate agent and a very good one, is an extremely important key to the puzzle, because when you're looking for homes, most agents, and I'm going to bring this up because this, but most real estate agents know how to calculate a principal, interest, tax, insurance payment. Right. Of course, they need to talk to the lender to get your information about what kind of rate they're quoting you or what kind of rate they're looking at. But they can pretty much do that. So when you're shopping for a condo, HOAs are a huge thing.
Mm-hmm. Or COAs for condos.
Right? Yeah. And what's the average like what you're seeing in your area? Like I'm hearing about condo fees up to like $400-$500 a month.
That's about the average between I would say $350 and $450 is the average that I see on a daily basis. But I've seen it as high as $1,500-$1,600 a month for condos. But that's also in those prime Miami high-rise type of things where you'll see those type of numbers.
Exactly. And one thing I will mention is when you're looking into purchasing a condo, it's not just your home inspection and your appraisal that goes into play. There is an extra cost, and it's called a condo questionnaire. Yep. Now, it is not necessary 100% in all condos, because there are certain condos that are HUD approved, that are approved by Fannie Mae, and that the lenders you're working with may already have a list of approved condos. However, if the condo is not in that list, a full condo questionnaire can run you anywhere between $400 to $700, and it's a upfront, non-refundable cost, and it doesn't guarantee that you would be able to purchase that condo.
Yeah, especially if you're an investor, because there's only a certain percentage of condos you can purchase as an investor in a certain building or area. Because I know investors like condos because it's easier to manage. They're small units. Their maintenance on those are pretty much taken care of by the building, so you don't have to worry about maintenance. Yes, you pay for it, but at the end of the day, you're you don't have to worry about mowing your lawn, or having the lawn, having tenant mow the lawn or anything like that. So I mean that's why investors do like condos, but at the same time they don't like condos because of the high prices and those high rates and the upfront costs of purchasing a condo.
Exactly.
And
sometimes those,
and not only that, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off that, but
No, you're fine.
But not only that, you're only allowed so many units to purchase in a condo as an investor.
Exactly. Yeah, they have a percentage scale where they allow a certain amount, and it's in a way it's good because that part kind of keeps the community healthy.
Right.
Because if it's only investors, it kind of you're renting it out, you don't know who the tenants are.
Right.
And a lot of time that balance actually keeps the condo community really nice and well managed.
Right.
But what I was going to say is a few key factors to really keep in mind when you're looking at a condo are the condo budgets, which can be requested by the current owner. If they, are playing ball with you, they can share that information because that will really save everybody trouble. Nobody wants to get into a transaction knowing that it's not going to work
Right.
out. But if there's, clear communication from the beginning, it helps both parties establish, okay, well, we can make it work or we can't. But when we talk about condos, having reserve funds, and this is a question I guess I get asked all the time by a lot of people, what do you mean by that? What we mean by that is, does the condo association have enough money in reserve to take care of any upcoming cost? For example, if there's a hurricane or something that may need repair, if the condo doesn't have enough reserve funds available, guess what they're going to do? They're going to jack up the HOA.
Right.
Now, if you are living there and you just closed here and your condo fee was, let's say, $500, and now it's gone up to $800, that's a payment shock.
Yeah.
What if you can't afford it?
Yeah.
What if you let the payment go delinquent? They're going to put a lien on the property. It's going to be, a lot of homeowners who are not making these payments, and now the condo can't keep up with maintenance, and now it goes down the road.
Right.
So it goes downhill, sorry, but that's one. The other is litigation. If there is ongoing litigation that could implicate the condo's reputation, then it'd be harder for you to sell your home. And if you're in financial duress and you need to sell and you can't, and now it's going to go into foreclosure, you can see where I'm going with that. So it's very important to have these things covered. And like I said, having a really good agent who understands condos is such an important thing because they can help you find this out initially and answer so many questions
Before even putting
and
an
help
offer
you
out there.
navigate. Exactly. It saves you so much headache. So it's really good to find specialists, like you said, in the local area who know what they're doing.
Right, exactly. And a lot of the people, they see condo prices being in the 200,000, 220,000. It looks affordable. Sounds affordable. It's only 220,000. I mean, a nice, 1,500 square foot condo, 2-bedroom or 3-bedroom. It's going to be averaged around that price, between 200 and 300,000, especially in our Orlando area. Now, people forget that the HOA fees, the condo fees, the FHA. Some condos do not, or apartment complexes,
Yep.
not apartment complexes, condo complexes do not allow FHA. Now, there is a website for HUD that you can check to see if that community allows FHA, but that puts another strain because it could be expiring soon too, because there's only allocated certain time that you can be under the FHA thumb, I guess. So if you can explain that further, what is the benefits of finding an FHA ready condo community?
Exactly, and that's such an important thing to have. And you're right. This is the deal killer for a lot of people, because you look at the price, just like you said, like, oh, $200,000, that's great, and then you are surprised by like an $800 condo fee, and your payment goes to some insane number.
Exactly.
But it is a new trend, I believe. I think there's a lot of condos, and I think a lot of these kind of apartment buildings coming up right now because it's the new trend. And another thing I was noticing, man, that offices are still under a lot of pressure, apparently. People are not, going to the office space as much. I mean, I know I work from home 90% of the time.
Yeah. The commercial spaces are definitely hurting, especially the commercial office spaces.
Yeah, and I saw the national office vacancy rate went up to 18.9% in the second quarter, which is insane. So, and this is, I think, causing a lot of these office buildings to go delinquent as well, and they're not able to secure financing for this.
You can't find subleasers.
Exactly. So it's causing a lot of issues in the economy because of that too. So it's pretty interesting how it's not an easy answer where people expect like, hey, when a home price is coming down.
Yeah.
It's kind of hard to answer that. And especially with what we're looking at, I mean, based on just what the Fed is doing right now with unemployment, if somehow we go into a position where it's not a soft landing and there's a bunch of people unemployed, it's going to be good for rates.
Right.
But at the same time, not everybody will be able to buy.
Right.
But that's going to create a little bit more, I would say, ability to buy with supply coming up because there may not be as much demand. But that's the only thing I guess I can say I would keep my eye on.
Right.
But apart from that, we just have to be vigilant. And anyone who is, I would say, looking to buy a home or already owns one, right now, there was a stat that came out this morning that for the year 2023, home price appreciation for the entire year is somewhere around, I think, 7%.
Wow. Well, it's
not bad,
still
man.
lower than the last couple of years. It was 15%, 18%, 20% high. 7%
Exactly.
is still healthy, guys. Anything above, anything in the plus is always healthy. It's always
And
healthy.
one thing, it's funny when things are like skyrocketing, people forget normalcy. In normality, home prices are supposed to appreciate between 4 to 5% per year.
Perfect. Yep.
So, and if you look at it historically, that's what the average is. And it compounds, of course. But we got a boost in the last couple of years. But even now, man, 7%, I mean, 7% means what? If $100,000 is $7,000, so $300,000 house is about 21 grand if you bought it in January.
Yeah. That's insane.
It pretty much means, right, that your down payment of 5% is covered and more. Your closing costs. So
you've covered your
you got your cash on cash back, which is pretty amazing.
Exactly. So we're not trying to deter anybody from buying condos here. Condos is still a good investment, good purchase if that's something that you want. If that's something that you want with views, high rise, people love that stuff. Miami is really, really good with that. I'd say certain parts of Tampa are really good with that. St. Pete, Daytona. I mean, anything by the shores, you'll definitely get a really, really nice condo. Yes, there are expenses with it, which we explained earlier. But at the same time, if you can afford it and you enjoy it, buy it.
Exactly. The goal is not to deter anybody. Right. It's just to educate everyone because see, the thing is in our industry, we have a lot of regulations, a lot of code of ethics, and we
must disclose.
Exactly. We must disclose. In all honesty, our job is not to sell anything. It's just to help people do what they want to do the right way. Because if you talk to me as a lender, my job is not to sell mortgages. I'm a debt manager. I help people understand how their debts are managed and what's the best way to use debt to create wealth. Right. And if you're doing that in real estate, if you're telling me you're wanting to buy a condo and your finances speak otherwise, then of course it is my duty and obligation to help you understand that. Right. But if you are truly looking to buy a condo, I still have to be there to tell you how it's going to work. So you don't go in blind unexpectedly.
Yeah, there's no surprises.
And now exactly, because imagine if you are looking to buy a condo and you go through 3 or 4 different condos and they don't work out. And each questionnaire is $500. You're out of $2,000. Yeah. Not to mention the inspection fee,
which is another $450.
Inspections average. Are like exactly. So if you average that up to like $400 even to stay cheap, $1,600 plus that's $3,600 gone. Yeah. You're never going to see again. You just wasted your time, your energy. So you have to really know where you're going with this and have a plan of action and talk to someone who you trust. And I'm going to add this last piece because I think this is one of my favorite terms. A friend of mine came up with this: trusted team.
Yes.
And you want to have a trusted team between your realtor, between your lender, between the insurance company, title company, if you get to pick them, because these people are really going to help you succeed. If you communicate with them, if they learn more about you, not just your business, not just what you're trying to purchase, but more about your personal life, it really helps us establish what would be the best option for you. Because we're objective thinkers in this transaction, because you're doing the emotional thing. So if you're going to make an emotional decision, I have to be okay with being unreasonable with you, just like I am with my 2-year-old, telling him not to eat candy at night, I would tell you the exact same thing if you're buying something that is not good for you and your family.
Right.
And if you don't like me for that, that is okay. But I will not stand by and watch you harm yourself financially.
Exactly. And with that note, we're going to end this show. Boom.
Absolutely.
All right, guys, we want to hear from you. You can reach us on our Moving to Florida show hotline by dropping a voicemail or texting us to 407-900-5859 or drop us a DM on Facebook or Instagram at Moving to Florida Show. And for Twitter, our handle is at Moving to FL Show. If you'd like to connect with us, if you have any questions, or if you need a realtor or a lender in Florida, you can reach us at movingtofloridashow@gmail.com. Be sure to subscribe to the show if you like our content so that it would automatically download to your device and get you one step closer to moving to Florida.